Welcome to Whale City project. In this video I'll show you how to work simple mode inside Universal Material System. Let's figure it out with every function and create similar materials like now on the Tesseract. And let's get started. I'm gonna create a material instance and save it. Apply UMS and parent input and choose simple mode. First tab, General Settings. Inside of this tab we have a few functions. Firstly, one offers you to enable virtual textures. Note how casual textures become virtual just in one click. Use this feature for the optimization and UDIM. Next, in general settings, we can choose the material pipeline ORD or ORM. Pay attention that now we see ORD map input in the main settings tab. If I set this boolean to false, we could see ORM map instead of ORD. Next function is ORD/ORM separate. No matter what pipeline you are using, this button will separate all textures. Now you can see ambient occlusion map input inside of ambient occlusion settings, roughness map inside of roughness settings, and metallic map respectively inside of metallic settings. Then we have the second tab, projection. Here we can set up UV mapping for textures in simple and advanced ways. You can control UV tiling in a simple way by simply adjusting this parameter. If you would enable advanced parameters, then all functions of UV gonna be separated. How it works? UV global scale is literally the same parameter which controls scale of UV unified. UV size X and Y controlling scale of textures horizontally and vertically respectively. And UV offset X and Y can move your textures horizontally and vertically. Please note that UV rotation amount and UV rotation pivot X and Y was designed for world-aligned mapping, so these functions doesn't work in the simple mode and we will cut them out in the next update. Cool. Now I can disable advanced UV parameters, close projection tab and open main map settings. Main map settings is the most important tab because here we are setting up main textures like base color, normal, ambient occlusion and reflection maps. So let's apply our base color texture in the albedo input. Now let's unfold albedo adjustments. Here we can adjust brightness of the color map, contrast and saturation. We can also twist the hue wheel to change color harmony and set color tint directly. Then we can apply a normal map, and we could have some details on the material. If you want to increase or decrease normal intensity, unfold normal adjustments, and you could see a corresponding parameters. Now I will apply an ORM texture. Our reflection immediately changed because of roughness by default set as a texture. But we will look at roughness right after ambient occlusion. Let's turn it on. We can use ambient occlusion as texture or generate it from red channel of the base color texture, and let's compare them. Also, we can adjust ambient occlusion. Unfold the settings by clicking on Enable Ambient Occlusion Adjustments and let's set the intensity of AO to 10. It will eat all reflections. If I set this to 0, then AO will not work. Also, we can adjust contrast. And we got to the roughness. By default, roughness uses from ORM or a separate texture, but we can control it as a scalar parameter. Just disable use roughness as a texture and you could set roughness intensity to any amount. I would like to use it as a texture. Then we have roughness adjustments. Unfold it and here we can setting up brightness and contrast of the roughness. All that remains is a metallic. Enable it. And as same as roughness, metallic uses a texture map by default, but you can make it scalar parameter by disabling a use metallic as texture. Let's set the value to the max. Now I will return a texture map and adjust the metallic. Here we can control metallic intensity, contrast and metallic tint, which is not actually gives you the control of the color of metallic, but saturation and lightness. We are done with the main map settings and let's unfold utility map settings now. Here we can enable emission and opacity for our shader. Let's start from the emission. We can plug in a texture map or white fill texture. Also we can use albedo color as an emission and you can make some cool effects with this feature. Then we can enable emission adjustments and set tint or intensity and brightness of the emission texture. Now, let's add the opacity. Opacity we can also use as a texture or scalar parameter, but opacity uses scalar parameter by default. To make it work, we should change the blend mode to the translucent or masked mode. Masked mode will cut out geometry by your mask. This algorithm understands only black and white color on the mask, which is 0 and 1 if scalar. Translucent mode will make your shader transparent from blacks to white smoothly. Now let's set opacity as a texture. Here we can also use albedo map to generate an opacity texture, but now algorithm could use alpha channel, so if you're using transparent textures, you can use it in a universal material system. The next step, we could choose an algorithm to work with opacity, which means translucent blend mode, or opacity mask, which means masked blend mode. Depends on your choice, universal material system could change texture input and automatically optimize your shader to fit your pipeline. If we could use translucent blend mode with opacity, you could also control an opacity intensity for additional possibilities. Now let's see on the effects settings. So far only camera clipping FX is available, let's enable it. And to show how it works, I should return default previous scene because this effect requires a background behind the object. Basically, this effect works as a spherical mask for objects that approach the camera to avoid sharp intersections. It works with all blend modes. We can adjust a few things for this effect. First one is a distance from object to camera. The second, radius of the sphere mask. I will return our values to default. Third, clipping alpha, which means mask feather. If I set this parameter to 0, the transition would be as soft as possible and vice versa. And the fourth is a contrast of the mask and noise dethering. Only optimization settings remain, but at the time of recording the video, these settings are still in development. We will release these features as soon as possible. Now you know how to create best simple materials just in minutes. Simple mode is an iconic scenario for creating quality and beautiful materials. And thanks for watching. Please stand by.